Exclusive contract novel from Feilu Novel Network. Rebirth of a trillion-dollar real estate tycoon, Mr. Yang calls him Dad. Shen Fei was reborn in 2007 and became the heir of a real estate company. Smart as him, he sold the company before the housing prices plummeted. Before the housing prices skyrocketed in 2009, I took back the land I had previously sold. At the same time, the internet and entertainment circles have left his footprints everywhere. He became the godfather of the entertainment industry and the founder of the internet boom. Finally, he became a real estate tycoon with a net worth of trillions. Ma Huateng. The thing I regret the most in my life is agreeing to cooperate with Shen Fei and giving him shares in Penguin Group for nothing. Director. My favorite collaboration with Mr. Shen is because he doesn't interfere with anything except for stuffing female actors into the production team, because he knows how important it is for professionals to do professional things. Wang Sikong. My dad said he wants me to learn more from Shen Fei and earn a small goal every day. Yang Mi Shen is always around the world. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Master of Takeover, Wang Jianlin, 1, Seeking Flowers. You are listening at novelfull.audio. June 2007. In the scorching summer, the scorching sun burns the heart. The blue sky is cloudless for thousands of miles. At this time, going out is either for the sake of living or simply enjoying the feeling of being exposed to the sun. But obviously, Wang Jianlin is not. He sat in the presidential suite of the International Trade Hotel, looking at his son who was on summer vacation, and said to him earnestly, "Sikong, remember, if I'm not here in the future, I must keep the company and not be a loser like Shen Fei." Wang Sikong, who was slightly chubby, pursed his lips upon hearing the words and said, "Dad, don't joke anymore. There are a few people like Shen Fei who are completely brainwashed. He speaks from the bottom of his heart. This Shen Fei is simply a weirdo. My father passed away due to illness at the beginning of the year, and this guy has only been around for less than 6 months. He is actually planning to sell his family's real estate company. Isn't this a brainwave? In today's real estate industry, it is a thriving and lucrative business. It is not an exaggeration to say that in today's China, the coal and real estate industries are advancing day by day. But Shen Fei is lucky. His family started with coal, and now real estate companies are thriving. However, he chose to sell all his assets and reportedly plans to enter the entertainment industry. Hee. Wang Sikong thinks this guy is really crazy. Alright, let's go. The contract is about to be signed. Wang Jianlin stood up and said to his son, "Today is the day for signing the contract." Prior to this, Shen Fei had already sold his family's 5 coal mines and most of his real estate projects. And what Wang Jianlin was interested in were a few pieces of land in Shen Fei's hands. Based on the current market price, the value of these plots of land is at least 1 billion yuan lower than Shen Fei's asking price. If this kind of business is missed, then Wang Jianlin is an idiot. And at this moment, a handsome young man in his early 20s, who looked a bit like Wu Yanzu, was leading a group of people into the World Trade Center. A few minutes later. "Shendong, do you really have to consider and make a decision?" In front of the young man, Wang Jianlin smiled and looked at Shen Fei, speaking up. He is a senior in the business world, so naturally he does not want to fall into a reputation of using big things to bully small things and taking advantage of others. Shen Fei smiled faintly and then said, "Chairman Wang, don't worry. Since I have decided to sell, I will definitely not back out." Well then, since that's the case, let's start. Wang Jianlin smiled but didn't say anything more. Soon. The signing ceremony has officially ended, and Wang Jianlin has also transferred the money to Shen Fei's account through the bank. It took him over half a month to raise such a large cash transaction. It's also interesting to say. When Shen Fei sold off his industry this time, he only wanted cash and didn't want any stocks or real estate, which was quite strange. According to private statistics from people in the real estate industry, this kid seems to have received nearly 50 billion yuan in cash within just 2 months. This is definitely an astronomical number. However, even so, Shen Fei has become a negative example for many wealthy individuals in the industry to warn their younger generations. As the saying goes, it doesn't hurt to sell a child to a master. Shen Fei is a spendthrift with assets worth 60 billion yuan, but he only sold 50 billion yuan, which is simply insane. Little did they know. At this moment, Shen Fei looked at Wang Jianlin with a proud expression and felt that he had 3 big characters written on his face, which was bright and shaky. Take over the plate. No. To be more precise, it should be a big shot. That's right. In Shen Fei's opinion, Wang Jianlin is just a scapegoat. The reason is also very simple. Because Shen Fei is a reborn person. As a screenwriter in his past life, he read extensively and naturally knew that although the real estate industry in China seems to be flourishing, in reality, it is about to decline. In fact, starting from 1998, due to the cessation of the welfare housing policy, the supply and demand of the domestic real estate market began to imbalance. In 2001, housing prices in Yanjing nearly doubled in the first 3 months. Although the government has repeatedly implemented policy adjustments to limit the rise of housing prices, unfortunately, it is a drop in the bucket. Even for 2 consecutive years in 2005 and 2006, the government issued regulations requiring all regions to pay attention, hold accountable for poor control of housing prices, ensure the supply of medium and low-priced, small and medium-sized units, build affordable housing, regulate the housing structure, increase the proportion of small and medium-sized units, adjust and regulate the supply structure of the real estate market, and ensure that real estate residential products are more reasonable, so that more people can buy houses. However, all these means are of no use. The entire domestic real estate market has gone crazy. Countless people are speculating in real estate. It's not an exaggeration to say that people are boiling with resentment, which is referring to the current real estate market. And Shen Fei's coal boss father, Shen Wanli, saw the business opportunities in this area and resolutely invested the money earned from coal mining into the real estate market. If it weren't for his death from cancer, his business empire would definitely continue to expand its territory. And now, Shen Fei decided to completely abandon the coal and real estate industries. If it weren't for him being the only heir to Shen Wanli and having 100% control of the Shen Group, it would have been impossible to succeed. However, even so, Shen Fei was mocked as a spendthrift and had a brain problem. Little did they know. He's almost laughing crazy now. Because no one knows, in just over 3 months, the country will release a notice on strengthening the management of commercial real estate credit amidst public discontent. This notice specifically requires that for second home loans, the down payment shall not be less than 40%, and the interest rate shall be 1.1 times the benchmark interest rate. Bank development loans shall be strictly controlled, and loans shall not be granted if the project capital does not reach 35%. After the announcement was released, the effect was very significant. The high-fever housing prices that had been rising immediately plunged, and a large number of real estate agency stores in first-tier cities such as Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, and Shenzhen closed down, resulting in a simultaneous decline in real estate transaction volume and prices. In addition, the outbreak of the U.S. subprime mortgage crisis has plunged the global economy into a downturn. The real estate industry will completely collapse. It will not be until the launch of the 4 trillion yuan plan in 2009 that it will be revitalized. During this period, to what extent has the entire real estate market been sluggish? In short, the land that Shen Fei sold to Wang Jianlin for 5 billion yuan is not worth even 2 billion yuan in another year. As for the coal industry, that's not to mention. In 2008, the government introduced policies to nationalize the coal industry. The coal boss, who used to call for wind and rain, directly withdrew from the historical stage. In this situation, Shen Fei would only continue to mine coal for real estate if he went crazy. Of course, he had to sell all of his industries. With Wang Jianlin as the scapegoat paying the bill, Shen Fei appeared calm on the surface, but in his heart, he was about to burst into laughter. Is it not popular to invest the 50 billion yuan in internet and entertainment industries? P.S. Seeking flowers, seeking evaluation tickets, seeking rewards, seeking monthly ticket support. 500 flowers or 100 evaluation tickets, or a monthly pass or 100 book coins as a reward, and 10 more gifts. I love things like the hidden rules in Chapter 2 the most. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After the signing ceremony, it is naturally a celebration party. Wang Jianlin and Shen Fei looked at each other, feeling in their hearts that they were being wronged. The scene was quite interesting. What's even more interesting is Lao Wang also introduced his son Wang Xikong, who was studying at a university in the UK, to Shen Fei, claiming that young people are more intimate and approachable. Shen Fei knew very well what his plan was. It was just because he was foolish and had a lot of money to pave the way for his son. Little did they know. Shen Fei is also very interested in Xiao Wang. After all, in his past life, his status was far from that of this national husband. And now, listening to Wang Xikong calling out Shen Gu one by one, that feeling is quite good. After a series of toasts, Shen Fei and Wang Xikong exchanged phone numbers. The banquet came to an end soon. Sitting in the black Mercedes-Benz bulletproof car, although Shen Fei was full of alcohol, his eyes were very bright. "Brother, have you finished handling everything?" He looked at the man in a suit driving and asked. A man in his 30s, although wearing a suit, has a sense of toughness on his body. His name is Shen Jun, and he is the adopted son of Shen Fei's father Shen Wanli. In the early years, this place in Jin province was extremely poor. Before coal prices skyrocketed, small coal mines in Jin province had to kill and injure many people every year. Shen Jun's father is one of them. When he was digging coal in the well, he encountered a collapse. The mine owner was afraid of taking responsibility and ran away. It was Shen Wanli who came forward and led his people to dig out his father from the pile of dead people. Although a person has lived, their legs have fallen off, leaving them disabled and dying within a few years. Shen Jianjun's mother died of difficult childbirth when he was born. Before his father passed away, he entrusted him to Shen Wanli. Over 20 years passed in a flash, and Shen Jun remembered his foster father's kindness to his family. After retiring from the special forces, he refused the opportunity to go to Yanjing to be a bodyguard for a big shot and returned to Shen Wanli's side to protect him. In fact, orphans like him were adopted by Shen Wanli, who now distribute across various departments of the Wanli group. There is no problem with the loyalty of these people, and it is precisely because of their help that Shen Fei was able to quickly gain control of the Wanli group after his father's death. Done. Upon hearing Shen Fei's words, Shen Jun nodded and said, "Zhuanzi led someone to handle it. There are no issues with the finance department anymore." After hesitating for a moment, he asked Shen Fei, "Are you really not digging coal anymore?" Upon hearing his words, Shen Fei immediately laughed. He knows. The dozen or so adopted sons and daughters adopted by my father, if it weren't for the old man's dying confession, if one day I were to lead the Wanli group, I hope they would absolutely support me. I'm afraid no one would agree with my current approach. Abandoning years of layout in the coal and real estate industries in exchange for a large amount of cash, everyone is curious about what they want to do. Yunga, what do you think? Shen Fei suddenly asked Shen Jun. Me. Shen Jun laughed at the words and shook his head, saying, "Dad said I should listen to you, and I will listen to you." He is such a person. When his father passed away a few hours later and handed him over to Shen Wanli, he followed Shen Wanli's orders. Before Jianlin passed away, if he entrusted Shen Fei's safety to him, he would only be responsible for Shen Fei's safety. He did not understand or interfere with other matters. My adoptive father is right in saying that the more you think in your lifetime, the more tiring you become. Ha ha ha, you. Shen Fei laughed and said to Shen Jun, we definitely won't dig coal anymore, but real estate will still need to be done sooner or later. It's just that the timing is not right now. The old man has a good eye, but he entered too early. What? What? Shen Jun was taken aback at the words. Before he could recover, Shen Fei continued, let's go home. Okay. Shen Jun didn't say anything more. He started his car and headed towards Shen Fei's new home in Yanjing. After selling his coal mine, Shen Fei rented a villa in Yanjing. Looking back, housing prices are about to plummet, and he went crazy to buy a villa at this time. What is the difference between joining the German army in 1945 and joining the Mao Xiong in 1991? Shen Fei wouldn't do such a foolish thing. Just as he arrived at his doorstep, Shen Fei had not had time to enter when the phone rang. Mr. Shen, do you still remember me? I'm Li Xiaowan. After the phone was connected, a warm voice rang from there. Shen Fei frowned and immediately said, Mr. Li from Rongxin Entertainment, right? Yes, it's me. We've met before. Li Xiaowan smiled and said to Shen Fei, I don't know if you have time today. Last time you said you wanted to invest in TV dramas, and this time you just had a notebook. I thought you might be interested. Upon hearing these words, Shen Fei thought for a moment and nodded, okay, where are you? I'll go over now. I'll send you the address. Li Xiaowan quickly said to Shen Fei. Okay. Shen Fei nodded and agreed. He loves things like hidden rules the most. Anyway, being idle is also being idle, let's just watch the excitement. P.S. Seeking flowers, seeking evaluation tickets, seeking rewards, seeking monthly ticket support. 500 flowers or 100 evaluation tickets, or a monthly pass or 100 book coins as a reward, and 10 more gifts. Chapter 3. Promoting Positive Energy in Nightclubs. 3. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The place where Li Xiaowan told Shen Fei was a coffee shop. These days, cultural people like to chat in places like cafes and tea rooms. It looks high-end, atmospheric, and upscale. However, Shen Fei didn't like it very much. When he arrived, the first sentence he said to Li Xiaowan was, Mr. Li, what kind of place did you choose? There's no atmosphere at all. Even if I have money, I won't invest in it for you. Ah. Li Xiaowan and another middle-aged woman wearing glasses were immediately stunned. They didn't expect to invite this nouveau riche with the intention of trying it out, but the other party really planned to invest money. Ouch, it's my fault. Mr. Shen, let's go somewhere else. Li Xiaowan's eyes rolled and she quickly said to Shen Fei, I've been chatting with Director Li about the script for too long, and my brain isn't very good. I made you laugh. Yes, if Mr. Shen doesn't mind, I know a nightclub that's very good. Li Xiaohong also quickly said. Let's go. A smile lit up in front of me. Men understand everything. Soon. A group of people appeared in the nightclub. And Li Xiaohong also called a few girls with great understanding. Mr. Shen, these are a few actors from my new play, all young actors. Can you give me some guidance? Li Xiaohong looked at Shen Fei with a smile on her face. Shen Fei looked at the familiar faces and nodded, then I'll teach them. Several girls were clearly mentioned beforehand and enthusiastically approached Shen Fei, holding up their glasses and toasting him. Shen Fei had seen such a small scene many times in his previous life, so he naturally didn't hesitate to raise his glass and drink. Naturally, my hand also rested on the thighs of several girls. Hello Mr. Shen, my name is Yang Mi. Mr. Shen, I am Yao Di. Mr. Shen, his name is Bai Bing. Ing yin yen yen, huan fei yen shou. Shen Fei hugged several girls and showed a satisfied smile. Especially Yang Mi, he never expected that young boss, who would become a top-tier actress in the future, would be so inexperienced at this time. It's quite normal to think about it, after all, Yang Mi is only 21 years old and hasn't graduated from college yet. Mr. Shen, it's like this. Director Li is planning to shoot this drama called, Dream of the New Red Chamber, and these girls are the actors we have selected. Li Xiaowan smiled and said to Shen Fei, the filming is approaching, and there is still a slight funding gap. I wonder if you can generously donate, Mr. Shen. She inquired and found out that this was a coal mine owner who was also a well-known spendthrift in the real estate industry. Less than a year after his father passed away, he sold all his coal mines and land, and had at least tens of billions of cash in hand. This kind of injustice, big head, cough cough, no, big boss, of course I can't miss it. Looking for me to invest. Shen Fei smiled at the words and gave a meaningful glance at Li Xiaowan. He reached out and touched Yang Mi's thigh next to her, saying with a smile, Mr. Li, is he positive in this scene? Ah. Li Xiaohong and Li Xiaowan were both stunned. Then he quickly nodded and said, positive energy, of course it is positive energy. We filmed this drama to promote traditional Chinese culture. Shen Fei laughed at the words and rubbed his white and tender thighs with both hands, saying directly, that's not bad. I'll tell you, when it comes to filming, we must promote positive energy in order to live up to art. Yes, yes. Yes, Mr. Shen is right. Mr. Shen still has insight. A group of people nodded eagerly to cater. For them, this is the real big boss. In recent years, everyone in the entertainment industry knows that the coal bosses in Shaanxi province have plenty of money, and the same goes for those who work in real estate. These people have countless amounts of money. To put it bluntly, the three words, unjust big head, are clearly written on the forehead. Coax him, there's no need to worry about not having the money to film. Little did they know. At this moment, Shen Fei's heart had already burst into laughter. New dream of the Red Chamber. As a veteran in the entertainment industry who has been wandering aimlessly for many years, he remembers very well that this drama not only did not make any money, but also caused Li Xiaohong and Li Xiaowan to suffer a disastrous loss. The shooting cycle is long and the cost is severely exceeded. It cost nearly 120 million yuan, but the book revenue didn't even reach 100 million yuan. Only when Shen Fei's mind was filled with water would he believe their so-called nonsense of making a steady profit without losing it. However, Shen Fei doesn't mind investing some money. After all, this is a good opportunity for him to enter the entertainment industry. As a good person who takes promoting positive energy as his responsibility, Shen Fei is well aware that places like the entertainment industry are not something you can squeeze into with money. It's easy to play with those female celebrities, just spend money. But if you want to play with female celebrities and make money in the entertainment industry, it's not easy. P.S. Seeking flowers, seeking evaluation tickets, seeking rewards, seeking monthly ticket support. 500 flowers or 100 evaluation tickets, or a monthly pass or 100 book coins as a reward, and 10 more gifts. Chapter 4. 10 million, Yang Mi was sold, for, begging. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Shen Fei is a person who always looks only at the results, not the process. For him, it doesn't really matter whether Dream of the Red Chamber earns money or not. After all, for him, who currently has over 50 billion yuan in cash, even if he doesn't do anything and waits for the real estate market to plummet, taking over the land that has been sold by himself can double his assets several times. Not to mention, Shen Fei still had a bunch of profitable businesses in his mind for the future. Internet, finance, real estate and even new energy industries are no worse than one show and two shows in the entertainment industry. But for Shen Fei today, money is no longer his goal. Anyway, with the advantage of foresight, his money cannot be spent completely. In this situation, why doesn't Shen Fei make himself happier? 10 million. Shen Fei glanced at Li Xiaowan and Li Xiaohong calmly and said, I want to take one of the girls here. From now on, she has no further relationship with your company and is my person. Hush. Upon hearing this sentence, everyone was taken aback. No one expected that Mr. Shen would suddenly make this request. Mr. Shen, this. Li Xiaohong was somewhat surprised. She was about to say something when she was interrupted by Shen Fei. Shen Fei looked at her and said seriously, I don't care whether you lose money or make money in this play, I just want people. The private room suddenly quieted down. Everyone looked at each other, looking at Shen Fei. A few young girls, their eyes shining brightly. 10 million. There are countless new actors like them in the entire entertainment industry. Now someone is offering 10 million to buy their contract, what are you joking about? Li Xiaowan and Li Xiaohong looked at each other and finally nodded at the same time. Mr. Shen, okay, we'll do as you said. They have seen too many of these things before. Nowadays, the entertainment industry is no longer the same as it was a decade ago. Back in the day, talent was everything, that's why the Beijing Circle was able to showcase so many big talents. But now, the rich are the masters. These artists in the entertainment industry, regardless of whether they are male or female celebrities, as long as they can climb up to wealthy and powerful wealthy fathers, they can shoot in just a few minutes. Just like now, Shen Fei, this nouveau riche, is probably interested in one of these girls. However, only wealthy individuals like Shen Fei can afford to spend 10 million yuan to buy contracts. After all, in their eyes, money has always been just a number. Shen Fei's gaze swept over several people and saw them all looking at him with hopeful eyes. After all, for these newcomers, being valued by a wealthy tycoon means that the other party will spend a lot of money to promote themselves in the future, which is a good thing that falls from the sky. As for the rest, on their first day in the entertainment industry, they knew it well. Isn't sleeping with anyone just sleeping? Why not make money while sleeping with men? It's just her. At this moment, Shen Fei patted Yang Mi's thigh beside him and said with a smile, I like big ones. Everyone was stunned. Immediately everyone laughed, and Yang Mi also showed a shy smile. Her name is Yang Mi and she is still studying at the Film Academy. It is her honor that you have seen her. Li Xiaowan quickly said, honey, thank you to Mr. Shen. Thank you. Yang Mi quickly expressed her gratitude. Growing up in the entertainment industry, she naturally understood what would happen next. In fact, since signing with Li Xiaowan's company, she has actually been mentally prepared. She knew very well that the only way for a female artist to stand out in this circle was to find a backer. Shen Fei, as a backer, is quite satisfied with her. She has money and looks handsome. She is willing to spend 10 million yuan to buy her contract and promote herself. Of course, Yang Mi doesn't dislike anything. All the gifts of fate have been secretly priced. Yang Mi feels that she is worth this price. As for what needs to be paid, she is equally aware of it. Anyway, it's also something that needs to be sold. Isn't it good to find a buyer who satisfies you? With such thoughts in mind, Yang Mi watched as Shen Fei wrote a check for Li Xiaowan, telling her to wait for someone to collect her contract tomorrow. Then she stood up, grabbed her shoulder, and walked outside. Spring nights are short and bitter, so I won't waste my time here with you. Shen Fei smiled proudly, with an uncontrollable smile on his face. Yang Mi. Boss Yang. One person supports Jiaxing Entertainment, a top-tier entertainment company with a peak market value of 5 billion yuan. Is there any cheaper business than buying his contract for only 10 million now? P.S. Seeking flowers, seeking evaluation tickets, seeking rewards, seeking monthly ticket support. 500 flowers or 100 evaluation tickets, or a monthly pass or 100 book coins as a reward, and 10 more gifts. Chapter 5. Yang Mi's blood. Will she get pregnant? You are listening at novelfull.audio. At midnight, at the International Trade Hotel, the presidential suite. Shen Fei leaned against the bedside, smoking a cigarette, and looked at Yang Mi, who had just walked out of the bathroom. The first time. He looked at Yang Mi with some surprise. Yang Mi, whose cheeks were slightly red, nodded lightly. Nowadays, she has not yet become the invincible boss Yang in the future, so she naturally feels a bit shy. Not to mention. Just now, the two of them had a spiritual and physical exchange, and she still has some weak legs. Okay, come with me in the future. Shen Fei said calmly. Yang Mi quickly nodded, naturally having no objections. She is very clear. Shen Fei spent 10 million yuan to buy his contract, and then he really had to look at the other party's face. If he hides himself for a few years and wants to stand out again, it will be difficult. After all, actresses eat youth meals. Shen Fei didn't pay any attention to Yang Mi anymore, but sat there thinking on his own. Buying Yang Mi's contract was purely accidental, and he never expected such a thing to happen himself. After all, in the entertainment industry of later generations, it is difficult for Shen Fei to not understand how high Yang Mi's commercial value is. She is a typical person who supports an entertainment company alone. To put it bluntly, if it weren't for Yang Mi, there wouldn't have been the rise of Jiaxing Entertainment. All the artists in Jiaxing, including Do Raba who later became popular, relied on Yang Mi's network to establish themselves in the circle. And now, Yang Mi had just been bleeding herself and was carefully tidying up the sheets. Taking out the phone, Shen Fei directly dialed Shen Jun's phone. Yunga, send someone to register a film and television company tomorrow. In terms of capital, 10 billion yuan. Shen Fei casually instructed. Although Shen Jun was somewhat puzzled, he still nodded and agreed. Yang Mi beside her suddenly brightened up when she heard Shen Fei's words. She's not an idiot, of course she knows what Shen Fei means. It's obvious. This is to enter the entertainment industry. For a moment, she felt a bit overjoyed. Shen Fei put down the phone and looked at Yang Mi, calmly instructing, if you come back to register your company, you will be the first artist to sign a contract. The contract will be signed every 5 years, and if there is a share, the company will take half, and you will take half. Thank you, Mr. Shen. Yang Mi quickly bowed and thanked. This is from the heart. She is with Li Xiaowan, but she can only get 30% of the share. This is still someone taking care of her and giving her benefits. In general, as a new student who has not yet officially debuted, it is already quite impressive that she can achieve 2 accomplishments. It's obvious. Shen Fei took care of himself this way because of his special relationship with him. Thinking of this, Yang Mi lifted her head and looked at Shen Fei, her eyes filled with tenderness. Women are quite emotional. In her eyes, Shen Fei was her first man, handsome, wealthy, and so kind to herself. If Yang Mi said she didn't like him in her heart, that was false. Shen Fei was a passerby, how could he not understand Yang Mi's expression? Without saying a word, he picked her up and walked into another room. The presidential suite is just that, there are so many rooms. The next morning, under Yang Mi's gentle service, Shen Fei put on his clothes and threw her a bank card. There's 1 million yuan inside. Take it and buy some clothes, shoes, or something. Then buy a phone and save my phone. I'll call you if there's anything I need. Shen Fei calmly instructed Yang Mi. Okay, I got it. Yang Mi is quite conscious. She was well aware that she had no qualifications to negotiate terms with Shen Fei. Besides, for a man who is so generous in his actions, let alone be indifferent. Even if Yang Mi were to serve his other girlfriend, she wouldn't mind. Watching Shen Fei leave, Yang Mi suddenly remembered something. Last night, I didn't take any safety measures with him. Will we get pregnant? I don't think so. I'm safe. Yang Mi blinked her eyes and muttered to herself. P.S. Seeking flowers, seeking evaluation tickets, seeking rewards, seeking monthly ticket support. 500 flowers or 100 evaluation tickets, or a monthly pass or 100 book coins as a reward, and 10 more gifts. Chapter 6. The first bully in the entertainment industry. 6. Find. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yang Mi was worried about gains and losses there, but Shen Fei had no idea at all. He left the hotel and got on the car. Shen Jun has already been waiting in the car. Do you really want to acquire an entertainment company? The car didn't start immediately, and Shen Jun asked Shen Fei a strange question. Yeah. Shen Fei nodded and said, let's just make do with it for now. He couldn't explain to Shen Jun that the seemingly bustling real estate market is about to enter a turning point, even a sharp decline. The same goes for the coal market, where today's thriving coal bosses can only retire from the historical stage in a year. In the next decade or so, the most profitable industries in China will be the cultural and entertainment industry and the internet industry. Of course, there is also the real estate industry that is about to hit a bottom. What Shen Fei needs to do is to plan ahead and get a share of the pie. Got it. Shen Jun nodded. Previously, when Shen Fei called him, he thought Shen Fei was joking, but he didn't expect him to come for real. A few days later. A film and television investment company called Wanli Entertainment has been officially established. The chairman is naturally Shen Fei. Soon, the news spread within the entertainment industry. At first, everyone thought this was spreading rumors, but when it was confirmed from Li Xiaohong that the registered capital of Wanli Entertainment was 1 billion yuan, and the boss had just invested 10 million yuan in the TV series, Dream of the Red Chamber, everyone was shocked. This Nima. What international joke are you joking about? Registered capital of 1 billion yuan. I invested in Li Xiaohong's new play without even reading the script. Born as a coal boss, he started his career in real estate. Such a person almost has the words, unjust big head, written on their forehead. For a while, many media outlets began to report on the situation of this Wanli film and television entertainment company. But Shen Fei was holding a meeting for his subordinates. Sister Wan, as long as you have good control over the company's finances, you don't have to worry about anything else. Shen Fei instructed Shen Wan. This company was acquired by him from a film and television company on the brink of bankruptcy. Although the entire company is not big, the sparrow is small and has all 5 internal organs. There are corresponding departments, and the reason why Shen Fei does this is because he is very clear that most of his subordinates are old subordinates of his father. They can work in real estate and coal mining, but they are really not good at opening an entertainment company. So, we must find a group of professional people to guide them. I know. Shen Wan nodded. She is a top student at Shanghai University of Finance and Economics. Shen Wanli sent her to study in the hope that she could take over the financial power of the company in the future. She, who has watched Shen Fei grow up since childhood, has a great affection for him. Our company has just been established, but we don't do so much hype. Shen Fei looked at the subordinates of the new company and said indifferently, I have only one request. Let the wind out. Whether it's a director, actor, or screenwriter, as long as they have talent, we will accept it. What? What? Upon hearing Shen Fei's words, everyone was stunned. No one expected Shen Fei to say that. Boss, what do you mean? We need to sign and collect the script. A middle-aged man quickly asked. His name is Li Wei, and he was the former general manager of this film and television company. After the company was acquired, Shen Fei appointed him as the vice president of the company, still in charge of everything. The general manager, of course, Shen Fei himself took on the role. Shen Fei nodded and said, you can go check the money on the company's account. I only have one requirement, which is to sign the person and receive the script carefully. You should first screen it and then show it to me for review. Do you understand? Understood, understood. Li Wei quickly nodded. But the other people in the conference room, especially those old employees, looked at Shen Fei differently. I used to hear that these real estate miners were wealthy, but I never expected that these people would be so wealthy. 1 billion. Surprisingly, it was used directly to acquire scripts and sign artists and directors. Does it mean that Mr. Shen really intends to do something big in the entertainment industry? But the problem is, his reckless actions are easily misunderstood as a scapegoat. Thinking of this, everyone suddenly became a bit worried. And at this point, Shen Fei's words shocked them even more. P.S. Seeking flowers, seeking evaluation tickets, seeking rewards, seeking monthly ticket support. 500 flowers or 100 evaluation tickets, or a monthly pass or 100 book coins as a reward, and 10 more gifts. Chapter 7. Soldier Assault, 7, Seeking a Fresh Flower Review. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I hope to have this company go public within 5 years. Shen Fei looked at a group of people and slowly said, "Hush." Upon hearing his words, everyone took a deep breath. They suddenly felt that Mr. Shen might have gone crazy. Going public. How can an entertainment company go public? So far, no domestic film and television entertainment company has gone public. Even the most powerful Hui brothers in the industry today dare not say that they have gone public. This boss Shen is so lucky. He's about to go public. Does he think he can handle everything with money? Alright, you all go ahead and get busy. After Shen Fei finished speaking, regardless of the other people's behavior, he waved his hand and let them leave. Shen Wan naturally stayed at the end. Do you want to buy this office building? Shen Wan asked Shen Fei. Although the company has already purchased it, the office building for office use is still rented. Don't worry for now. Shen Fei thought for a moment and said, don't invest our cash in real estate. Upon hearing his words, Shen Wan frowned slightly and looked at Shen Fei, hesitating to say, what do you mean is that there may be changes in the recent housing prices? She is a very intelligent woman, otherwise she wouldn't have been entrusted with a heavy responsibility by Shen Wanli, responsible for the financial work of the entire group. Although Shen Fei didn't speak as clearly, Shen Wan had already vaguely guessed something from his recent performance and actions. I feel like it will fall. Shen Fei said slowly, sister, you also know that in the past 2 years, the authorities have repeatedly tried to control housing prices, but there has been no improvement. Do you think this is normal? Shen Wan remained silent. Although she works in finance, she also understands that there are indeed problems with the current housing prices. Wait. Shen Fei said slowly, it won't be long before there will be more movements on top. In his memory, just this autumn, the country will introduce corresponding policies, and then housing prices will fall in response, with a drop of over 70% in just a few months. With the outbreak of the subprime mortgage crisis in the United States, this panic decline has led to a near-catastrophic collapse of the domestic real estate industry. If it weren't for the introduction of the 4 trillion yuan rescue plan, it is feared that the domestic real estate and construction industry will continue to decline. So, buying an office building now is undoubtedly a very foolish behavior. Okay, as long as you have a plan in mind. Shen Wan nodded and didn't say anything more. In fact, although the group of people left behind by Shen Wanli have some criticisms about Shen Fei's current troubles, everyone has a unified idea that their family is big and they are not afraid of Shen Fei's troubles. It's just 10 billion yuan, it's worth the loss. After seeing off Shen Wan, Shen Fei picked up some information about the previous company and started reading it. Rebirth is such a long time, and he actually doesn't know much about these things in the entertainment industry. I have been dealing with the aftermath of Shen Wanli before, thinking about monetizing my family's industry. Now I have time to pay attention to the entertainment industry." As he watched, Shen Fei frowned. Nowadays, the entertainment industry is really in a state of half-life, just like in my memory. Although still shining with a dazzling halo. But TV talent shows in various regions are so popular that they require official regulations to cool down. Introducing blockbuster films before and after the summer vacation has created myths worth billions of yuan, and domestic films can only hope for a turnaround in the new year slot. The popularity of the core members in the music industry has declined, and most newcomers are not as popular as their popular songs. Who would have thought that 10 years later, this would be such a huge market? Shen Fei looked at the information in his hand and muttered to himself. This is his inner words. Although the current entertainment industry in mainland China seems lukewarm. But more than a decade later, the annual output value of the entertainment industry exceeded 200 billion yuan, feeding countless practitioners. What's even more magical is that many unknown young people nowadays, at that time, have risen to become trendsetters leading the trend of the times. The former Shen Fei has nothing to do with it. But today he has become one of them. Taking a deep breath, Shen Fei continued to watch. But at that moment, he suddenly saw a name and was stunned. Soldier Assault. Unconsciously reading the name from his mouth, Shen Fei's eyes widened instantly. P.S. Seeking flowers, seeking evaluation tickets, seeking rewards, seeking monthly ticket support. Thank you to the Lonely Walker for offering a reward of 100 book coins, which will be delivered at 10 o'clock today. I have always kept my word. Chapter 8. The First Investment Project, 8, Seeking Flowers. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Shen Fei has an impression of the TV series Soldier Assault. Military-themed TV dramas have been a very popular topic in China since the popularity of Sword on the screen. The Special Forces series and other works in later generations have even become popular among many people. But in Shen Fei's eyes, the most classic modern military-themed TV series is none other than Soldier Assault. Although at the beginning, this pure male drama with almost no female characters did not attract much attention, and the first-round broadcast rights were even ignored. But with the broadcast of the TV series, the characters in this drama have truly moved countless people. In an era where most people live like leeks, this play really helped many people find the meaning of life. When you feel that life has deceived you, you can't find joy, and you spend your time on boring things every day, but you are powerless to change. Looking at Su Sanduo, you can find a little excitement. It turns out that you can do meaningful things and live well. As for what is meaningful, after watching the drama, you should have the answer. When you encounter setbacks, lose face, be humiliated, and wish to use your toes to dig out 3 rooms and 1 living room, and have no face to see your old friends, go and watch this drama. You will find that face is earned by yourself, and people rely on themselves to stand up. All failures are only temporary, and there is nothing that cannot be overcome. When you have a smooth sailing, successful career, and smooth sailing, when you go to watch this drama, you will discover another world. The clever young man like a successful person and the young man like Gao Cheng also have to experience the ups and downs of life. You will flatten your high head, restrain your contempt for everything, and paint a thick layer of color on the first half of your life, so that you can restrain your sharpness and be careful to sail the ship for thousands of years. This is the evaluation of this play that Shen Fei has seen online before. Shen Fei thinks it's very relevant. He just didn't expect that the film and television company he acquired would receive a submission from Kang Honglei, the director and screenwriter of Soldier Assault. After thinking about it, Shen Fei made a phone call and called over Zhang Kaiyuan, the planning manager responsible for script review. "Mr. Shen, you're looking for me." Zhang Kaiyuan is in his 40s and has been in the circle for many years. Although he may not be outstanding, he is still considered an old martial artist. "Manager Zhang, what's going on with the script of Soldier Assault?" Shen Fei didn't talk nonsense and asked directly from the beginning. Many people, when watching TV dramas or novels, always feel that the big shots in them speak in a hazy manner. Actually, not everyone is like that. Unless everyone is talking about something very secretive and doesn't want others to understand. Otherwise, most of the time, the conversation between superiors and subordinates is always simple and direct. Just say it for yourself. Well, let me think about it. That director had previously directed The Burning Years of Passion, and later made many urban dramas. He wanted to shoot this drama, but no one invested in it. You also saw this script, which doesn't have any war scenes, it's too boring. Zhang Kaiyuan faced Shen Fei's inquiry and said calmly. This kind of thing is too common in the entertainment industry. Regardless of the size of the director or screenwriter, the most important issue after writing the script is to attract investment. So how did you invest in our company? Shen Fei asked, somewhat puzzled. The predecessor of Wanli Film and Television Entertainment Company was not a big company in the entertainment industry. Such a small company had to have 300 even if it didn't have 500. Unexpectedly, Kang Honglei would have submitted the script here. Zhang Kaiyuan was taken aback and then laughed. He knew that Mr. Shen was an outsider and didn't understand the rules behind it, so he patiently explained, this kind of director with little connections, if he wants to attract investment, he can only cast a wide net and fish more. As long as a few companies are interested in his script, he can save it up. Upon hearing this, Shen Fei also realized what was going on. After all, he lived in Hengdian for many years in his previous life and was well versed in certain rules of the entertainment industry. Simply put, the production of a film and television series is rarely completed independently by a single company, and most of it is jointly invested by several or even a dozen companies to share risks. In most cases, one company is the main investor, while other companies jointly invest. Directors like Kang Honglei, who have little connections, cannot find investment and simply submit the script to all the film and television companies he can contact in the industry. As long as someone likes the script, he can save money and start production. Contact him, I'll meet Kang Honglei. Shen Fei thought for a moment and said to Zhang Kaiyuan. Ah. Zhang Kaiyuan was taken aback, but immediately nodded and agreed. Although I don't know why the new boss is doing this, since he has given orders, of course he should follow suit. P.S. Seeking flowers, seeking evaluation tickets, seeking rewards, seeking monthly ticket support. Today at 10 o'clock, seeking support from flower evaluation tickets. Chapter 9. A Thorough Businessman, 9. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Kang Honglei received a call from Zhang Kaiyuan, feeling confused. He never expected that the script he just casually submitted would actually pass the review of Southern Film and Television. It's not right, now it's called Wanli Film and Television's review. After receiving the call, he didn't say a word and immediately took the bus to Wanli Film and Television Company. Watching Kang Honglei appear in front of him, covered in dust, Shen Fei was quite surprised. Hello, Mr. Shen. Although Kang Honglei was surprised by Shen Fei's youth, he still respectfully greeted him. Sit down. Shen Fei nodded calmly. He had seen Kang Honglei in his previous life, but at that time, Kang Honglei was already a top director, and he was just an assistant director wandering in Hengdian. The status of two people is vastly different. And now it is today. When Kang Honglei sat in front of him, his face was full of nervousness. Director Kang, right? Shen Fei glanced at Kang Honglei and calmly asked, do you think this movie, Soldier Assault, can make money? Upon hearing these words, Kang Honglei was stunned. Gritting his teeth, he spoke up and said, Mr. Shen, this play tells the story of a soldier's growth. I think. His idea is very simple. He wants to tell Shen Fei the core story of this play. Kang Honglei is confident that he can move the boss Shen in front of him. To his surprise, Shen Fei waved his hand and said directly, I'm not interested in your story. Just tell me if you can make money. Kang Honglei was simply foolish. He never dreamed that Mr. Shen would be so direct. Don't beat around the bush, be straightforward. This is the impression that Shen Fei gave him. He is a complete businessman. I only focus on whether my investment can yield returns, and I don't care about anything else. My father was a coal miner and later switched to investing in real estate. Shen Fei looked at Kang Honglei and said calmly, since I was young, he has told me that when digging coal, we must not speak recklessly. If we command blindly, we will lose lives. This is a matter of safety production. Right, your father's words make a lot of sense. Kang Honglei nodded with a dry smile. Although I don't know why Shen Fei said that, he can only agree so. Shen Fei ignored him and said to himself, later on, when he started his real estate business, he told me not to command blindly because business is like a mountain separating us. As bosses like us, we just need to grasp the main contradiction and manage the company well, right? Kang Honglei was stunned for a while before saying, it seems that this is indeed the truth. He had to admit that Shen Fei was right. No matter which industry, if the layman commands the layman, there will definitely be problems. You are the director, you are responsible for filming, you are responsible for the entire production team, and you have a budget to make. You have a responsibility to ensure that you use this money to shoot a good play. Shen Fei looked at Kang Honglei with a calm expression on his face and said, I just want to ask one question. If you are allowed to film, can this drama make money? If not, how are you going to compensate me for my losses? What? Kang Honglei didn't know what to say anymore. He really wants to tell Shen Fei that investing is risky, especially in the entertainment industry, which carries high risks. However, the problem is that the other party clearly does not intend to talk to him in this way. And, according to his words, if he can guarantee to make money, he will invest in this soldier assault. Thinking about how hard he had been begging his grandfather and grandmother for half a year, but still couldn't get a penny of investment, Kang Honglei hesitated a bit. Shen Fei gave him a faint glance and slowly said, I can fully invest in this play, but one thing is, you need to give me confidence. I am a businessman, not a philanthropist. Speaking of which, he naturally has no need to hide his thoughts. Kang Honglei looked at Shen Fei's expression, gritted his teeth, and said in a deep voice, the budget is 7 million yuan. If you can't make money, I'll sign into your company and film for you for free. He went all out. This play embodies years of his own hard work, and he hopes to be able to film it no matter what. Looking at his expression, Shen Fei suddenly laughed. I believe in you. Shen Fei smiled and said to Kang Honglei. Ah. A sudden sentence stunned Kang Honglei, and he looked at Shen Fei with confusion on his face. Shen Fei remained very calm and said slowly, although I don't understand the script, I believe director Kang's talent will not disappoint me. At this moment, Kang Honglei suddenly had a feeling of encountering a confidant. He really didn't expect that Mr. Shen would trust him so much. P.S. Seeking flowers, seeking evaluation tickets, seeking rewards, seeking monthly ticket support. Today at 10 o'clock, seeking support from flower evaluation tickets. Chapter 10. Formal signing with Yang Mi, 10, seeking flowers. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It can only be said that Kang Honglei was a bit kind. He doesn't know exactly what kind of person Shen Fei is. If he knew, he wouldn't be so grateful. The reason why Shen Fei said such words in front of him was actually putting pressure on him. As a reborn person, how could he not know the impact and benefits of the play Soldier Assault? This is a TV drama that is still regarded as a classic even after being broadcasted for more than a decade, and Shen Fei went crazy to not invest. But he must adopt an outsider's posture in order to make Kang Honglei willingly use it for himself. In his past life, Shen Fei loved the book Hohei Shui very much. He thought the content inside was very good, but it never came into play. After all, he never had the chance to become a leader in his previous life. He used to work in Hengdian for many years, relying on his graduation from the Department of Chinese Academy of Drama Directors, and eventually found a teaching position at a private media university. I usually shoot movies in Hengdian, occasionally guide female college students who pursue progress in their acting skills, write film reviews, and deceive some local tycoons into investing in online universities. If he hadn't accidentally crossed the border and reborn, Shen Fei was telling a play to the school flower at Sheraton Hotel on Qixi. And now, since God has given him a chance to start over again. Of course, Shen Fei needs to hold on to it. Although his assets are now as high as 50 billion, Shen Fei does not mind using his foresight to turn this number into trillions. Not to mention, he can also do what he wants to do. Kang Honglei left Shen Fei's office with great gratitude, and Zhang Kaiyuan naturally received him to discuss the next steps. Shooting a TV drama is easy for many people. Actually, that's not really the case. Having a script for a play is just the minimum requirement. It also requires approval, obtaining a filming permit, and then gathering cast members, finding actors, filming, and soliciting sponsorships. Afterwards, filming will begin. Even so, this is just a starting point. After the shooting is completed, there is still editing to be done. After the editing is completed, it must be submitted to the Cultural Management Bureau for review and obtain a playback license. Only when these processes are completed can a film or television drama be considered fresh. And this is just pre-production. As an investor, one must also find a way to sell this work to a television station or video website, which is the complete production process. Of course, it is now 2007, and video websites have not yet emerged. Blogs are the mainstream. So after most TV dramas are filmed, we need to find ways to sell them to TV stations in order to recover costs. As for things like overseas distribution rights, Shen Fei didn't even think about it. As for the content of Soldier Assault, foreigners have to think to the point where they will buy copyrights. So, this play can only be recouped through the broadcasting rights of domestic television stations. I hope Kang Honglei will not disappoint himself. Just as I was thinking about this, the phone in the office rang. Mr. Shen, the Miss Yang you previously asked us to contact has arrived. Would you like to meet her? Hu Tingting, the director of the company's artist department, called Shen Fei. Although Wanli Film and Television Entertainment Company is not a big company in Yanjing, its former boss was originally ambitious and wanted to pursue a career, so he established several departments. It can be said that it is completely based on the standards of large companies like Huai. Why is my heart higher than the sky, and my life thinner than paper? That old man has been tinkering in the entertainment industry for 4 or 5 years, not to mention not making a penny, but also losing tens of millions. Feeling disheartened, it was only then that Shen Fei was given the opportunity. Just after the meeting ended, Shen Fei has informed the manager of the artist department to contact Yang Mi to come and sign the contract. I didn't expect this girl to come so fast. Surprisingly caught up with Kang Honglei. Little did they know. Yang Mi is extremely panicked now. At the beginning, Shen Fei bought her contract from Rangxindali Shaowan for 10 million yuan, and she was very happy. She felt that if there was a boss to praise her, maybe she could soar to the sky. But when I returned to the dormitory, I realized it. Although it is true that Shen Fei has money, he has a black eye in the entertainment industry. He even has to start an entertainment company on the spot and doesn't have any resources for movies and TV shows. How can he promote himself? Can it be said that there is still a specific investment to shoot a play for oneself? Not to mention, what if someone is just talking and teasing themselves? For a moment, Yang Mi began to worry about gains and losses. So, after receiving a call from Hu Tingting asking her to come and sign the contract, she rushed over as soon as possible. Anyway, just sign the contract first. P.S. Seeking flowers, seeking evaluation tickets, seeking rewards, seeking monthly ticket support. Today at 10 o'clock, seeking support from flower evaluation tickets.